This video has been brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download and a 30-day free trial at audibletrial.com/mega capital G. Over 180,000 titles to choose from on your Apple or Android device. Cancel anytime with no obligations. I'm listening to The Amazing Wrestling for My Life by Shawn Michaels. Link in the description. What's up, YouTube? Capital G here. The Penguin Madness is back. If you guys did not see the first video I posted where someone was trying to make a Penguin deck using some of the new Olga cards that are going to be released soon in the OCG, mainly this Glacial Penguin right here works in conjunction with some of the other older Penguin cards like Nope Penguin and the Great Emperor Penguin. Actually creates a little bit of synergy. You guys are going to see another duel, and this one is just going to be overwhelmingly in the opponent's favor because not only is this, I would argue, somewhat of a bad matchup because the Penguin deck does use its extra deck a lot, but things are just not going to go well for the Penguin deck. Can they somehow find victory within the jaws of defeat? We will find out right now. So I believe the Penguin deck is up first, and I said it in my last video, I don't believe you want to go first with this deck because I don't really think that it does all that much. If maybe you're lucky enough to get 2 level 4s on field in the first turn, then obviously you have access to Bahamut Shark Totally Awesome, which is always going to be a very strong opening. But, you know, short of that, not really like the greatest play. So he's going to go for the Mermaid Link Monster, and this is where things are going to start to take a turn for the worse because anytime that you get hit with the Phantasme turn 0, I think you are in a it's a really bad position because your opponent basically gets a huge beater on field and they get a draw. So they haven't lost anything. They've got to potentially fix their opening hand and they already have a giant beater on field. So it's like you're already just in a terrible position. But on top of that, he also has Shaddoll Fusion, which of course will benefit by the fact that his opponent summoned from the extra deck. So now you look at that and you're like, oh lord. So he got a +1 off Phantasme. He'll get another probably +2 off Shaddoll Fusion. Like, this game looks like it's already over. Mathematician could even be another +1. Like, how many pluses? That's like a +4 off of just those few cards. How exactly do you recover from that when you're playing freaking Penguins of all decks? So anyways, he's gonna use the Mermaid Link Monster that will be hit with Ghost Ogre. I'm not a fan of Ghost Ogre right now, but I didn't really like it there either because when you pop the Mermaid Link Monster, it does have that Monster Reborn effect, and that can bring back the Polar Penguin, which of course can bring back Nope Penguin from the graveyard. And you can send Nope Penguin to the graveyard with the Mermaid Link Monster as well. So basically they both come back to the field, and this is, you know, your bread and butter combo as he loses Twin Twister. Your bread and butter combo is summoning Polar Penguin from the grave, then summoning Nope Penguin for free, and then banishing one of your opponent's cards. Now, if you use it, if you pull that off from like Call of the Haunted, or this deck really uses Back to the Front, it technically can be a +3 because you get 2 monsters and you get to banish one of your opponent's cards. Well, I guess technically a +2 out of 1 card. So it's actually powerful, but it's super slow. And you do need to repeat the process over and over to get anywhere. And these monsters don't have floating abilities or anything like that. You know, when they die, they pretty much just die. Well, I guess Polar Penguin does have the ability sometimes to bounce one of your opponent's cards, but it really only works with extra deck cards. Anyways, Genix Undyne is going to be played, and you know, that can get you a nice little plus. He is going to go back to the Polar Penguin combo, and that will at least stop, or that will at least get him a removal, but not going to happen here as his opponent uses Effect Failure. No Penguin will still hit the field, and if you get Veilored or if your opponent uses Impermanence, what you probably should do is look to go for a Synchro play, which obviously he is going to do. He's going to go for that Crocosaur and try to draw some cards. Usually it's unlikely your opponent will have like double negation. Like, what are the odds your opponent has like Impermanence plus Effect Veiler right there? Anyways, I would still say at this junction that the Shaddoll player is definitively in the driver's seat as he still has access to Shaddolls. He's getting a +1 off of Falco. Wendy can also be another card that gets him more advantage. So I would say Penguin deck still super not looking good. Apkallon's going to be summoned, and that's going to lose out to Lost Wind. Okay, fair enough. He is going to go ahead and set another Shaddoll from his deck. I think that's Ariel that got set, and she's gonna be flip face up. She's gonna get Construct. Construct's gonna activate. You're just like, dude, how can the Shaddoll guy has so much advantage? Like, how is it possible that he can't win this duel? Now, I do say this: I love lost win in this matchup against Shaddolls because you know they pretty much always have to go back into their extra deck. So using this on one of their monsters like Winda, and then knowing that they pretty much have to go into another fusion or a link monster to really close out the game, you're probably going to get 2 activations of lost win anytime you see it early against the Shaddoll deck. Anyways, he is going to use the L Shaddoll fusion for Cologne, who's going to get blown up by the effect of that Crocosaur, which is pricey. You got to discard 2 cards, but we'll see if it works. He's going to go for Coral Anemone, which is one of the better plays in this deck because Coral Anemone gives you the ability to reset your Penguin combo. You saw him use the Crocosaur, which, I mean, that's a heavy cost to pay using a big monster like that, but you know, sometimes it's worth it if you get the reset your Penguin combo. You get the banish a card from your opponent's graveyard. This is something I don't think we saw in the last duel, going in for Coral Dragon, which is interesting because it does have removal and it also floats upon destruction. So this is something kind of new being added to the deck. Cologne's going to be summoned once again, and then he is going to negate the effect of Coral Dragon for some reason. I'm still trying to figure that out. Now look, this is something that I was kind of questioning here. He flipped over the copy of Hedgehog, which we know would obviously get him Shaddoll Fusion. I believe that the Hedgehog was summoned off of, I think it was special summoned. I feel like it was summoned off Falco. I think he could have used Lost Win and he could have prevented all of this from happening, whether it be the Shaddoll Fusion and then the subsequent construct hitting the field. He is going to save his Lost Win, but I'm pretty sure that that Hedgehog was not normal set. I believe that it was specialed face down. Now here's the point where I just like, okay, I was like, all right, Shaddoll's clearly got this in the bag. He can't lose. He's going to activate Necro Fusion. He's going to summon the ultimate wizard in terms of defense and attack, which is not Dart Magician. It's actually Quintet Magician. And come on, this duel should basically be over. Quintet Magician is going to hit the field, start regulating Ash Blossom on the Coral Dragon effect, and I want you guys to tell me who's going to win this duel. The man who has absolutely 0 cards to his name, playing a little wimpy penguin deck, or the guy with an ultimate wizard and basically a full board of Shaddoll monsters and Link monsters and all this stuff, because I feel like you just gotta win this. You have so much overwhelming advantage, but the back to the front cheese is real. I told you guys this one card, it can basically stall. He's actually even going to be able to activate his Shaddoll Squamata and draw some cards at the same time. So with this, what back to the front does in this situation is it allows him to stall out the game by getting 2 monsters on board and getting rid of one of his opponent's monsters. I think he's gonna go for a Quintet. He put it face down, but that doesn't matter because you can get rid of cards that are face up or face down like monsters. So that was kind of irrelevant. And then he gets even more cheese, another copy of Back to the Front. So I mean, even though this is a slow process, he's slowly blocking these attacks and he's out grinding his opponent. His opponent got Dinomischus, which is fine, but he's still gonna find the banish. The Polar Penguin is already activated. He needs another powerful top deck, and he finds another powerful top deck, getting Monster Reboard off the top. 3 straight turns of revival cards. That is OP. He then tributes for 2 copies of Polar Penguin, and just like that, he's pulled off the comeback. I mean, that was 3 in poker. It would be like runner, but yeah, that was 3 straight turns of revival cards, and he needed every single one of them, because if you're not summoning Polar Penguin from your deck or you're not summoning it from the graveyard, you're basically not doing much in this deck, because you need to be pulling off that combo. And the one weakness about Shaddoll Fusion monsters, if you can banish them or bounce them, basically not kill them and send them to the graveyard, that's when you can kind of cut the supply chain off from Shaddoll Fusion. Anyways, I'll show you guys the deck again, and I don't really think anything has changed, although I'm not sure if this card, Shark Stickers, was in the original build. But I'm not going to leave this in the description below because from the last video, I already had the shark, listen to me. I already had the penguin deck up there. So if you guys want to, download this deck without actually having to build it from scratch based on what I'm showing you right now, just go ahead and go to that video and just download it. And yeah, I guess just adjust the shark stickers in the deck, because that's the only thing that I can see that possibly changed, or it may have actually been in the original build and this is just card for card. But I know other than that, I know the trap lineup, I know the spell lineup is stayed exactly the same. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. As always, subscribe if you have not already and turn on that notification bell for daily videos.